So I got charts and graphs and numbers and all kinds of indicators and all this kind of stuff all over the place. And then I'm going through and I'm going through the checklist of what I need for Dracula. And I kind of had this combination of like a great Bela Lugosi. I wanted to go old school with it. Bela Lugosi with a touch of the guy who does Archer's voice. I'm a big Archer fan. And when I added up all the numbers and cross references and whatever, I went, Dunwoody. Dunwoody can do that. And luckily he said he would. And I'm loving it. If anything, even if you just hear one episode and go, not for me, do it so you can hear the Dunwoody doing Dracula. It is amazing.
It is. It's incredibly sexy. I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
lie.
goodness.
Totally is.
And I'll agree.
Yay.
Less
Well,
on the
listen,
sexy, but still on the cool.
Okay, I'll take it. You know,
I'll take it.
when 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 you first contacted me and said, you want to do Dracula and Bela Lugosi meets, John Benjamin, I was like, yeah, sure. And then as soon as I logged off, I was like, what have I done? How do I get out of this? Because I didn't know I could do Dracula, so there's no way you knew it. And so I spent my process was I was on YouTube like watching video tutorials on how to do Eastern European accents, and I was getting really really worked up and overthinking it. And so then I was like, oh God, I'll just go and do it, and then I went and did it, and it turned out fine.
Well, more than fine, because you carry the whole run.
Sparkly
And
even.
I think you're like in every episode except for one. Is that
Mm-hmm.
correct?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, because there's one episode coming up where it's a gathering of all your enemies, which that was the other thing I tried to do with this was I always loved the old Batman series and that gallery of villains he had,
Yeah.
uh, uh, and I thought Dracula commands that kind of respect as well. So yeah, your enemies are plentiful, and there's one episode where they all gather together to plot how to kill you.
And we should also mention they're particularly odd.
Well, yeah, just like the Batman Gallery of Villains. I mean, you got everything from Mister Freeze, Wild, to the Joker and all the classics, Catwoman and whatever. So I was trying to just think of these absurd characters that would all be vampire hunters and killers, and some I took from the Dracula lore, and some we just made up all just from scratch. I think you have like your one run in is with the great Mexican vampire killer,
Yes.
giving a nod to those old classic Spanish films and stuff about the vampire hunters, and it's Carlos de Carlos.
Not to be confused with the other Carlos, Carlos, or whatever.
Carlos
Carlos,
El
yeah.
Carlos,
Yes.
Yeah, there's Carlos El Carlos.
the
and
other
Carlos.
legendary vampire hunter.
Yeah, the El Carloses don't like the De Carloses, so they feud quite often. They don't like to be confused. But yeah, and your showdown with him is classic, which that's voiced by Ron Mexico, ironically enough.
Yeah, and in fact, this is in addition to you three, and I think you three are all absolutely awesome. I really feel like you helped me so much, kind of not only get comfortable with doing this, but help kind of elevate my performance. And I feel like all the people who are coming up, lots of great talents, it's pretty much all writers who people know, and they're providing their voices.
And then we
Yeah.
suck out their souls. Oh wait.
Yeah, well, I mean, coming up we have Nick Cotto, who I needed a guy who was street. I needed a guy who was just had grown up in the neighborhoods and was street because he plays an Uber pimp. He plays with his network of hoes, and he's SD Batang. And I thought, who do I know that's really street and could just bring that feel? And it's Nick, because Nick, he's just a New Yorker. He's got the voice and everything. And I thought, oh God, he doesn't even have to try. He is the greatest street pimp ever.
I'm throwing in two fun facts. of all the people we've had playing in so far, we've had Alethea and Nick Cato. They, most of their performance stuff that recorded, bang on. No errors.
Yeah, Nick lives it. You know, he lives and breathes the street. So he was hilarious when we were recording it. I mean, he just, every time he was doing his damn part, I was, just peeing my pants. So
I kept thinking, is he acting this or is this how he talks? And it's like, oh God, this is how he talks.
Well, when I asked him to do it, he goes, "You need a guy who sounds like Vinnie Barbarino?" I'm like, yeah, kinda. Yeah, I do. So we got Nick coming up. We got Michael Holquist, who is one of the most talented dudes I've ever worked with. He plays Chad the hippie werewolf. That's in a later episode coming up. But yeah, he's doing a voice for us. And then one of the biggest of all. This is I don't know when you have to take a break.
I was going to suggest now would be a great time to sample a little bit of the fun behind the scenes in the show.
Cool. Then can I mention this guy real quick so people know what? Because this is a great segue to this, and he's a major part of this.
Yes.
When ZZ and I were putting the podcast together, we were wanted to make it look official and professional and as fun as possible. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if we got a theme song, like an official Dracula's Winkee theme song? So I said, what would be awesome is if we got like a goth rock tune. And we both know one of the actual legends of goth rock, one of the dudes who actually started it in the 80s, Bobby Style. And I think we both had him on our shows through the years. And I thought, well, maybe Bobby knows somebody, because Bobby wouldn't do this. He's a major legend. He's a big time.
He's a dude.
Well, he's toured with all the big names, and he's, like I said, he's one of the guys who kicked off the whole goth rock genre. So I go to ask him if he knew anybody kind of on the cheap that would be able to maybe toss us something. I pitch him the idea, and Bobby goes, "I'll do it." I'm like, dude, I can't afford you. He goes, "No, this cracks me up. I will do this." So we have our theme song done by goth rocker Bobby Style, and it is an amazing song. It's fantastic. So did I spoil the surprise? Was that what we were going to play, or you were going to play during the thing?
No surprise. That's a part of the segue into it. So let's have the EW roll it, man.
Dracula's. It's the failure of events. Dracula's.
Let me see if I can find a virgin.
And you were dead on as far as virginity level.
Oh, thank you. I try. I've been fooling people for a long time.
Now I'm confused.
I don't know nothing. I know about the rocket and I know about the raccoon. That's it.
Now I'm confused.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. I pulled this one out of the mothballs. No Caitlin Jennings joke there.
I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, this one is.
That's what that smell is. I thought you used
Oh my God! People. I know you can't see it over Skype, but I'm drawing lines.
And we're crossing them.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Alethea, how does it feel to be the sexiest woman ever in history?
I feel pretty hot right now, I gotta say.
Have you been practicing the jumping out of the boots thing? That's pretty awesome.
Naked, in a catsuit even.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Winkee.
Dave.
Dave!
Hey,
Well, okay then. Somebody's not reading the chat room.
no, I'm not.
Say your famous line. You have to say your famous line for the fans.
Right. What the shit?
Yeah.
There you go. 10.0. The Russian judge loves it.
Everybody does.
I'm glad you put that in there, though, ZZ. That is the first we got to hear Bobby's song, which it just kicks ass. And,
Yes.
Bobby's actually going on tour soon, and he told me he's writing out like a full 3-minute version of the song. He's going to be performing it live while he's on tour.
Hell yeah.
That
Not wait.
is
Please tell me we're gonna get a copy of that.
freaking
We
awesome.
have to. We have to. I mean, it's just too freaking cool. And then he jumps in as one of the villains too. Bobby actually voiced one of the head villains, Teabag McJoy. He's one of the. He's from the. What is he's from the? He's a long line of vampire killers. He's the Brotherhood of the Prissy Unicorn.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think. And yeah, so he. But he has a hidden weapon too. We'll talk about later. But so we got to hear that. But I'm glad you put in all that other stuff. That was Elise Draper, who does some voices for us. She's Sister Agnes, this Dracula hating nun, and a couple other people. She plays